Hello friends, this is Carrie and welcome back to I Like Reddit channel. I hope you all are staying safe and healthy. Today friends, we have 4 stories out of the Entitled Parent subreddit, in addition to having a dog sleeping in, well, several of the stories. I'm apologizing beforehand. I do apologize in some of the recordings. You can hear him snoring and dreaming and whatever else he does in his sleep. Probably thinking about eating, playing, more eating. I don't know. He's a Labrador, so who knows. Anywho, let's begin. Our first post is by Raven's Arts. Psycho entitled UberWitch crashes our movie night. Gets owned. I give permission to be used by whoever. Totally forgot about this until I heard a similar story. This happened many years ago, but I remember most of it because it was just so freaking stupid, and I briefly wrote about it in my journal. I'm female, and at the time was in my late 30s, as was the rest of my group. I used to have a friend, she moved, so we lost touch, who had an UberWitch of a younger sister, along with a rotten 8-year-old female crotch goblin. I mean, this kid was such an a-hole, and her crappy mom enabled/indulged her. This kid would always take other people's stuff and either mess with it, break/eat it, or just steal it, and would throw a fit if you stopped her, causing "Mommy" to get in your face. Of course, UberWitch never offered to replace anything. One night, a bunch of us, all women, went to my friend's house for a horror movie marathon night. We did this movie night 2 to 3 times a month, and it was always with different themes, and friends and spouses were welcome. Each of us was expected to bring snacks, drinks, alcohol was optional, and 1 or more movies, usually R-rated. 3 or 4 that we liked best to watch. Suffice to say, young kids were not allowed. We were well into our first movie and our second bottle of wine when my friend's front door opens and UberWitch walks in unannounced, says she's going clubbing, and tries to dump her crotch goblin off onto us. We're staying home anyway, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Friend was livid and refused to watch the crotch child because, she later told us, A, she's a spoiled, destructive brat. B, UberWitch didn't call or ask, despite multiple warnings. C, this is her time to unwind with her friends, and not babysit her sister's rotten crotch fruit. D, none of the movies were remotely child-friendly. She wasn't going to alter her plans just because her sister wanted to go clubbing. And E, did I mention that the kid was a spoiled, destructive brat? She didn't say this, she just gave a flat no, to which UberWitch and the kid threw a tantrum. Turns out she told her daughter that she was having a fun movie night with her auntie. As they argued, the kid took the opportunity to grab the remote and started playing the DVD, which was paused when they let themselves in. It was a 1988 remake of The Blob, and it was mine, and started watching it. None of us stopped her because honestly we were too busy watching the sister fight to notice. Ironically, we had paused just before a particularly scary/gross scene where the little boy gets grabbed, pulled under the water, then comes up, half melted, screaming before being dragged under and devoured. Naturally, the crotch goblin freaks out and starts crying, which alerts UberWitch, who starts screaming at us for letting her kid watch, I'm paraphrasing because this was a while ago and I didn't write in her words, our disgusting movie. Pretty sure she had dropped a couple of F-bombs in there too. Then demanded to know who it belonged to. Since I hated UberWitch, I got up off the couch, but surprisingly, so did another friend, who we'll call Friend 1, a very buff, sporty girl who UberWitch hated and actually feared. This was because they had gotten into a fist fight the year prior when UberWitch groped Friend 1's fiance at a party, and no, she wasn't drunk, then slapped Friend 1, who promptly beat the snot out of UberWitch in front of everyone. Friend 1 glared at her, then said, "It doesn't matter whose movie it is. What matters is you coming in uninvited, giving your sister crap, not watching your stupid kid, then getting irritated when your kid again touches stuff that isn't hers and then ends up scaring herself. Now I suggest you and your kid turn around and go effing home." A smart person would have done what Friend 1 said, but UberWitch was never particularly smart. Instead of leaving, she turns to me and starts getting in my face. Probably figuring I wasn't going to retaliate because she was smaller than me, she's my height, but slimmer. She was right, but also wrong. Sorry about the snoring, my dog's asleep right next to me. I have a temper, always have, but my temper first manifests as sarcasm, right up until I reach my BS saturation point or the idiot picking a fight touches me. Then it's game on, and by that point, I don't care if you're bigger or smaller. So she's in my face, screaming mishmash of oral flatulence I didn't really listen to, nor care about, except a sentence or two we needed to care for her child. WTF? When she stopped to take a breath, I said, "Why is it our job to watch your kid? It's not like we pushed her out of our vag." UberWitch actually gasped, like someone in a graphic novel, and yelled in my face, "You have a son!" "Yes, I do," I replied, starting to get mad. "But do you see him here?" "No. That's because I'm not a self-centered witch who'd bring him to an adults-only gathering or dump him on others without asking." This really set her off, and like any entitled moron who can't fight, she tried to slap me. Luckily, she fights like a girl. Too bad for her, I don't. When UberWitch pulled her arm back, people never telegraph your blows. I moved slightly to the side, grabbed her arm, rotated it behind her back, grabbed her hair, and then planted her face hard into the nearest wall, putting her arm behind her back. Damn, it felt so good. UberWitch struggled and cursed, but I wasn't letting go. I told her she had 3 choices. She could take her kid and leave quietly. I could kick her butt in front of her kid. I'd never do that, but she didn't know that. And by this point, one of the others had taken the kid into the kitchen, but I was too busy to notice. Or I could call the cops and have her arrested for assault. Then her kid's ex, who hated her because she cheated on him, to come and pick up the kid. UberWitch agreed to option 1, but she tried to get my friend to side with her once I released her because family. Friend responded by taking UberWitch's keys, removing her house key, and telling UberWitch neither she or her hellspawn were welcome at her house and told them to get the F out. The look on UberWitch's face was of utter shock, as if she had discovered someone peeing in her cereal bowl. UberWitch then looked at all of us for support. Why she looked at me for help, I just don't get, but we just glared at her. Realizing no one was coming to her side, UberWitch grabbed her kid, called us all "see you next Tuesdays," especially me, and left, slamming the door. Friend apologized to us. No need. We all knew her sister was an a-hole. Then immediately called her parents, giving them the lowdown and a warning that unless they wanted to end up watching her brat all weekend, they'd better get in their car, go anywhere else. UberWitch had done this to them before many times, and warn other relatives as well. UberWitch didn't get to go clubbing, and soon after lost custody of her brat to her ex. Don't know how it happened to her since I don't care. Update. Called an old friend, and here's what she knows. Before moving, the kid got better and stopped acting up after the ex got custody. Lost touch after they had moved across the state. Nothing on UberWitch. Our next story is by Hema entitled "Mother Steals from My Car Because She Hates Shopping." Alright, this is a short story because I get too angry talking about it. First of all, a bit of background. I wrote the story about the entitled parents locking the park gate around a year ago. I have since moved houses with my parents. I wasn't going to tell this story because it's a little old, but hey, here we go. My family. Me, my mom, and my stepdad, who I'll just refer to as Dad since he basically is, had just been shopping, and we were driving back home and we pulled into our estate. As we were driving down the road, we saw a woman who we didn't recognize standing on the path, but we just thought nothing of it. Our road was right next to a school, and so there's a lot of people who tend to be standing around. We pulled into a parking spot and we began loading up the shopping bags to take them into the house, which was down a pedestrian path and around a bend, out of view of the car. We walked down to the house and we put our shopping on the counter. Then my dad stopped me. "Dad, I think I left a few bags in the trunk. Can you run and grab them?" I agreed, and he threw me the car keys. I went outside, and as I walked towards the car, I saw that our car trunk was open and there was someone inside. My dad forgot to lock the car. It was the woman we saw before, but she was rummaging around through our shopping with her arms full of biscuits, cakes, and packs of Cops. Me. "Excuse me, what the hell do you think you're doing?" I don't know that she's a mother yet, but she is, so I'm calling her EM. EM. "I'm just getting my shopping out of my car. Why is this any of your business?" Me. "This isn't your car. I have the keys. This is my father's car. So, what are you doing?"
Ian. I was sitting and waiting for my babies to finish school and we needed some food for the house. You left these here and walked away, so I'm taking them instead of you people wasting them.
Me. We weren't wasting them. If you need food, go and buy it. Don't take ours.
Ian. But we hate shopping and this is so much easier. Can you please just give it to me?
Me. Sorry, no. I then proceeded to take the food from her, close the trunk, and lock it. The entire time, I'm getting grief from her as she's calling me all sorts of names and proceeds to storm off, presumably to ruin somebody else's day. Note, as I said before, the story's a little dated, so the situation's long gone, so please don't give me any advice on how to deal with it. It's too late. If you're enjoying the content so far, please put a heart emoji in the comments section down below. Our next story is by
Meow.
Dad's 70-year-old aunt feels entitled that I should have to marry a guy
for family.
Cast. Me. Entitled Grandparent, OH, aka Old Hag. S, my cousin. Sorry, my dog is dreaming in the kitchen. Okay, so this happened when I was 13. Yes, 13. So I was with my cousins talking about boys, and my dad's 65 to 70-year-old aunt had come to our house and was in the same room as us. My cousins were playfully making plans about each other's weddings in the future, who would be whose bridesmaids and blah blah blah. I made an offhanded remark that I don't think I'm ever going to want to get married to anyone. That got the old hag's knickers in a twist. This is the conversation that followed. Old hag. Eyes widened.
But you can't do that.
Me, visibly confused. Why not? Old hag, putting on an air of superiority.
It's a tradition in my family for all the girls to get married. It is your responsibility to find a man and serve him dutifully and start a respectable family.
Me, I'm not part of your family. Old hag.
Yes, you are. Your grandpa is my cousin.
Me, you forced your 17-year-old granddaughter to marry a 28-year-old man. We don't do that here. And you know, you could get into serious trouble for doing that, you know? Old hag, getting really angry.
She is 18 now. And she was willing, and that's besides the point here. What I'm saying is that it is your duty.
Me, I'm not obligated to do anything for a man. I'll do whatever the hell I want. Old hag.
The women in our family do not get to do whatever they want. They do what their parents want and what their husband wants.
Me. I was speaking in Hebrew now. I have ambitions and goals that I want to accomplish, but I'm sure you wouldn't know anything about these. Anyway, I'm not wasting my life being someone else's servant. Old hag.
God created Adam first. He only created Eve to serve him. And also, God doesn't like it when women don't marry a man and disobey him.
Now, I don't know which religion she believes in, but I later Googled it, and literally none of the religions instruct this. Turns out she made the whole thing up. S interrupts. So, does God send you email messages or something? Cause man, I can really do with some of that stuff. Me. And also, if you know so much about Adam and Eve, then you should also know that there wouldn't be any other humans if Eve hadn't been created. Old hag, ignoring me and S.
You will do what we say. Your parents gave birth to you and raised you, all while having problems of their own, and all they want in return is their daughter to settle with a respectable man and start a family. Won't you even do that for them? For your own family?
Me. Well, if my parents raised me only for that, then I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Besides, what if I don't even like boys? Old hag, eyes widening.
Oh Lord, please forgive us for all of our sins.
After that, she tried to complain to my parents about how they raised their child and how I was
going off the tracks and needed to be controlled before it was too late.
My parents, of course, defended me and said that whatever I want wasn't wrong. And then she complained to my grandfather about how he raised his kids and got into a fight with him too. Overall, that day was just... Our final post is by Shibby510. Entitled Mother Gets Mad Because Our Power Was Out. I work at a fast food restaurant. Last week there was an accident close to the freeway. A car hit a pole, so the power was out for approximately a mile down the road. Our restaurant was one of many places without power. My general manager made a sign that she taped to the speaker in our drive-thru to explain the power outage. She sent 2 people home since we didn't need to run up our labor when we weren't making any money. It was only me, the general manager, and the new guy. We did as much cleaning as we could without any power until we were left with nothing to do but to hang out in the dining room. First of all, the amount of people who went through the drive-thru
read the note, came back to knock on the door to ask if we were serving food was ridiculous. We had to throw out all the food we had literally made right before the power went out because we were in the process of switching to lunch. Most people were understanding when we explained that we had nothing to serve them. When the power came back on, we still had to wait for everything to heat up before we could cook anything. I was the only one wearing a headset, so I was explaining to everyone who came through that our power had just come back on and it would take a little bit longer before anything was ready to serve. Again, most people were understanding, but one woman, though, was really angry. EM: what do you mean you can't serve anything? Me: our power has only been back on for 5 minutes, and it's going to take us 5 to 10 minutes before our fryers, broilers heat all the way up. Until then, the only thing we have available is drinks. EM: but my son and I are hungry. Me: I'm sorry about that, ma'am. If you want to come back in 10 minutes, everything should be back to normal. EM: we only want chicken nuggets. Just give me 2 10-piece McNuggets and we'll go. Me: we don't have any ready. We can't cook them until the fryers are heated up. If you come back in 10 minutes, they'll be fresh out of the fryers. EM: where's your manager? Me: my manager is in the walk-in checking on the food to make sure that everything is okay in there. I can go get her if you like. EM: never mind. I'll just go next door where they know how to treat their customers. Me: okay, ma'am. Sorry about that. Have a nice day. I watched her go next door and get turned away there, too. I was dying to know if she had raised a fuss over there. I just don't understand what part of our power was out for over an hour and we need time to get everything ready that some people just don't understand. That's all the stories I have for today. Links to the original Reddit posts will be in the description box below. Please stop on by Reddit to show the OP some love and an upvote. If you enjoy my videos, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell notification to let you know when I upload new videos. Thank you for watching and have a wonderful day.